Hey, what's going on, guys? Been a busy evening. So, hopefully that little screensaver there at the beginning was good to just kind of let me get prepared here while some of you guys started to come into the chat. So, what's going on, guys? Let's see. Butt Souls, TDT, Gundam, Gundam Yethem. How's it going? J Smith. What's up, Jigga? Gundam bad, Zaku good. Like if you agree. How's it going, guys? Alright, let's just get my stuff set here. I don't want to permanently mark on my cutting mat where the edges of the camera frame are, so I'm just using little bits of tape to kind of mark it out for me so I know, so I have a guide as to what's in the frame. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Master Grade Stormbringer live stream. Here we are live once again. Bring in this light over here so it's more like that. Defini, thank you for subscribing. Much appreciated. Hopefully, I think this is going pretty well. I wanted to get into trying streaming more, and I think this way is working out. On the one hand, actually, ultimately, streaming like this costs me more time. Because I go in and I do all the nub removal and everything, cutting out all the parts beforehand. Do that, and then come here and put it all together. But just the act of putting it together live on stream while I'm also talking and just kind of doing that at the same time does make ultimately the process take a little bit longer than it would if I were just building at the same time while going through and doing the nub removal and all of that. But it's all good. I've been enjoying the streaming for a couple times a week for the past couple weeks now, and so hopefully you guys are too. I just before this I was recording February's episode of Gunpla News, so tomorrow I'm gonna work on editing that, and then hopefully around this time tomorrow I'll be able to upload that for you guys. So over on YouTube, the next video that's going to be coming out is going to be Gunpla News. So there's that. And that's why this stream today is a little bit later than usual. We're starting actually quite late, so I'm going to try to get through this as quick as possible because I don't want to stay up insanely late. Alright, so quite a few little parts here for the torso, which is the part that we're building first, by the way. Just uploaded the unboxing like 2 hours ago or something, a couple hours ago now. So if you haven't watched that, I guess you could pop over and go watch that and then come back. You probably wouldn't miss too much if you're watching live at the moment, but otherwise, that unboxing is there. You can feel free to go back and watch that later on if you're interested. But how's everyone doing today? Anyway, thank you, Defini. The Stormbringer. So yeah, it's basically a mix of the Gym Dominance and the Gym Sniper 2. Alright, so we got this guy. Just finished work. So what country are you in? Or what continent? What general time of the day is it where you are? I know the majority of my audience is probably in North America, but if you're just finishing work, then that would mean you work very early in the morning. Building this portion of the inner frame was always a little bit complicated to build, like the shoulder joints. Outlaw Tadpole says, just before lunch for you. So I guess you must be probably in the US or in North America, I guess, right? Yeah, building like these little piston bits that like go in for the shoulder armor is a little bit complicated. Not shoulder armor, sorry, the shoulder joint inside of the torso for the shoulder joint. I'll try my best to focus while I'm speaking, so it's not a complete mess of just word salad. Central time in the US. It's the ideal time for you also. That's good. Bobot the Clown. How's it going, dude? The MG Jagan is such a fun kit. Indeed, MG Jagan is a very fun kit. Simple, but fun. Ooh. Was that right? Yeah, I guess so. Okay. I think I may have not been paying attention when I put that part on. I may have. There's a 50-50 chance. I happened to put it on the correct way, I think. But I'm pretty sure I was not paying attention that closely. Not quite closely enough. That part's complicated. Luckily, after that, that's pretty much it. It's pretty simple after that. So, just got a polycap here and there, a couple of parts. This kit's very minimal on the stickers, so Stonebringer. That's right, Scuffles. How's it going, man? It's a silly name, to be honest, but whatever. It's a cool kit. Still sort of holding out hope that they'll make a kit of the Gym Turbulence, but I kind of doubt that that's going to happen. Whoopsies! Forgot to let my Discord bros know that we're going live. Better send them a little notification. It's snowing outside and you really want an army of this kit. That's not going to be cheap. What the? What the? Oh my. While I was recording Gunpla News, apparently there was an announcement, or just a teaser, from a Gundam base for a kit of the Duage, which looks like it's probably a high grade or something. But I'm just seeing that somebody just posted it in my Discord while I was recording Gunpla News. So as usual, the curse continues. That something always gets announced like right during or right after I'm making my Gunpla News video, so I miss it. Alright, well, that's fine. Damn it, Bandai. Two announcements. Did I miss something? Duage and something else, he says. Let's continue on with the build. So there's some fresh meme for you. Alright, we got our pilot figure for this guy. Oh, that's our, okay. Where's the chair? Here's this chair. So yeah, just before this, I was recording Gunpla News and also recording unboxing for this guy. Shoo. So apparently, February is going to be Master Grade month. I'm doing like a lot of Master Grade stuff this month. We have the Shinanju, we got the Stormbringer, I've got the Kublai Damned, which I'm working on, getting ready to review that. Got the F91 backpack kit, and then the Master Grade Gyaradoga. So, plenty of Master Grade love for February. A lot of stuff. Yeah, I also do hope we get a Master Grade Gyaradogu. Gyaradogu. I hope we get a Master Grade Gyaradogu. That would be awesome. And can you imagine the P-Bandai variants on that? That would also be cool. I mean, just cool that they get made. Obviously, it wouldn't be cool that the fact of them being P-Bandai, but you know they would be. What's up? What's up, Backstep? How's it going, man? Hey, Suzaku, how am I today? I'm doing fine. It's late, but I wanted to do this stream today, but I also had to get that Gunpla News recorded and reported, I guess. So it's recorded, and getting to the stream a little bit later than I had intended, but it's all good. This is a frame that I've only built like 5 times already, so hopefully the frame itself shouldn't be too complicated. There are some new bits of it, but for the most part, it's all the same as the different versions of the Master Grade Gym that we've had out as of late. Do you think it would be better to just keep going with P-Bandai kits, or just sell the unpainted changed parts? Scuffle, are you talking about like on for Bandai or for me? For Bandai? To just sell like just the new parts that are specific like to make the variant. So like, yeah, I'm sure they'll stick with just doing the full kits, but that would be cool if they just sold just the part sets by themselves, like just the parts that you would need to like take your Gym Sniper 2, for example, and turn it into the Gym Dominance, or turn it into the Stormbringer. There would still be extra parts. I mean, there would still be leftover parts. You would still have stuff that would be like crossover runners that you wouldn't need to use all the parts for, things like that. So, but of course, that would bring the overall cost of P-Bandai items in general much. That would bring the cost down a lot, of course, right? So yeah, that would be cool. But I don't see that happening, unfortunately. I think based on the fact that they keep doing more and more P-Bandai kits, like year after year, it seems like, that probably means that it's making them some good money. So they're probably not going to stray from what works. Alright, we do have a sticker here for the chest, looks like. And events. Really cool looking chest design. I like the upper vents on there, and then the little fins on the front of the chest as well. It's cool. Like I've said this before in like past reviews, but it's cool when Bandai takes like things that are like trends in especially the Japanese modeling community in general, and they'll kind of like adapt or kind of like work in a lot of those trends into their kits. So like the little fins on the chest is something that I think like just a lot of modelers were doing. It was just kind of like a trend for a while, and they started doing it with the Sazabi Verka, and or what did the Master Grade Hainu Verka I think also had that, right? Anyway, they've had that in a couple kits now, so it's just like another example of that kind of thing. So that's pretty cool. I know it's kind of old news, but did anyone pre-order the Hazel 2? I ordered 2 of the Hazel 2. I can't wait, and I keep thinking that it's like coming out way later, but it's coming out next month, so it'll be coming out soon enough. And the Neo Zeong 2, or the second Neo Zeong, is coming out next month as well. I'm just thinking, where am I gonna put that? That's gonna be a problem. Gonna have to tell my wife we got a new coffee table for the living room. See, put the Neo Zeong 2 box in the living room instead. There's a new side table next to the bed or something. Sorry, I'm working off camera here. I'm just trying to get that sticker in there for the chest. It's a very tiny little sticker. Alright, you also build the backpack at the same time here. I put the backpack parts separately, so I'll pull those out here in a second. And apparently this part that I also pulled out is actually for the waist armor apparently, so I didn't actually need that quite yet, but there's the torso. And where did I put the backpack parts? Up here. So got these guys. So you build the backpack along with the torso, but you actually don't build these like fuel tank stabilizer things until much later. But I'm gonna build them at the same time as the backpack, so I can plug them in the backpack at the same time. Yep, Neo Zeong coffee table. Exactly. If I could, what I would like to do is paint and sell the original Neo Zeong kit first to kind of make room for the second Neo Zeong kit. That would like be ideal, but don't think I'm gonna make it in time. I'd have to like drop everything else that I'm doing and only focus on just working on that one kit. Where's that part? There it is. Only focus on working on like just the Neo Zeong for like the next month and a half in order to get that done before the 2 comes out. Now I don't know. Oh. Huh? What? How's that? Okay. That looks weird in the manual, but alright. I got it. I'm actually still on the fence because I do want to. I mean, I don't think I'm going to do it this month or even next month, but sometime this year I do want to get the Neo Zeong kit painted. Again, it's basically just kind of like the main reason is just to clear out the space because it takes up so much space. But I'm still on the fence about how I want to paint it because it's so big. Painting it by airbrush is going to be a huge pain in the ass. But on the other hand, painting by airbrush is still going to give the best results. So I mean, I want it to look good. But other options would be painting it by spray can. I'm talking about like the big parts, like the Shinanju itself inside there, and anything small I would just paint by airbrush. But then like all like the bigger, huger parts, maybe just paint those by spray can. It would certainly be faster and easier. But on the flip side, yeah, I think just doing it by airbrush would look better. The other option would be would be just doing it like Max Watanabe style and just doing it all by hand brush. And that could work. Again, that's a pretty big scale to do something like that on. But he did it for his 120 scale Gerwalk kit, which is also very large. So I mean, I'm obviously no Max Watanabe, but just in theory, that painting style can work for something that huge. So the limited release keeps the auspicities of exclusively for AOZ IP, even with I can't really understand that. I think it's too late for me to be able to understand that, unfortunately. And got a message from Strider Prime. I don't know if he's watching in the chat. If you're watching this, hello, Strider. But he just messaged me. I'm doing. I don't know if this is private, so I don't want to. Or if he's like doing this announcement. So hang on just a minute. Just paint the whole kit with nothing but sponges. I mean, that's kind of like the Max technique. Why is that not fitting in there? Am I doing that right? Okay, zoom ahead to the back of the manual, and that should fit in there. The propellant tanks. So it says in the manual the propellant tanks. That solves that. I don't know what to call them, like stabilizers or propellant tanks or what, but okay, it just fits in there with this polycap ball joint, but it seems tight. Like it doesn't flop down, but it seems. Oh yeah, it does flop down. It's kind of loose in there. So it's not super loose, but it's not as tight as I'd like either. So we'll just keep it like that for the time being until the review. Well, there you go. I want to get into painting kits. Does anyone know any good kits to start with? The Master Grade Jagan, honestly, is a really good kit to start off with if you want to get into painting. Because the inner frame's not very complicated, so you don't have like a lot of little parts to worry about. And the exterior armor as well is not a lot of parts to work with. And let's see, on the Jagan, were there any parts of the Jagan that had seam lines? I feel like there was. I can't remember at the moment. I missed a couple nub marks on this guy. So where's my knife? The Master Grade Jagan, I think, is a really good kit to get started into painting. I think most people would probably tell you to start off by painting an HG kit for the simplicity of an HG. But honestly, HG is it depends on the Master Grade. It's like older Master Grades can be a chore, but newer Master Grades you usually don't have to worry very much about seam lines, which is just like another step. Honestly, you should learn like how to remove seam lines first before painting. But if you're like learning both steps simultaneously, you just want to try some painting, and you're still kind of practicing getting used to doing seam line removal. So you maybe don't want to do that so much on your very first painted kit. Then let's like a nice simple Master Grade, newer one like the Jagan would be good. Ice Raid, what's going on, man? So yeah, that would be my recommendation for you. If I think of anything else, I'll shout it out, but that's the first thing that comes to mind, because I've recommended that to a couple other people as of late. Stop folding over! If anything, I wish Bandai would make more non-grade, high-grade 100 scales like the HG8, the IBO line. they didn't have the resources to put out MVs. Yeah, the 100 scale IBO kits are also pretty great for if you want to get into painting, because they're also pretty seam-line free for the most part. Really nicely detailed and big. So again, you don't have a lot of little tiny pieces to worry about. Because they definitely, the worst kits to get if you're just getting into painting would be real grade kits. So as long as it's not real grade, then you're good. Those are probably the hardest to paint, I'd reckon. I think, off the top of my head, I think I've only painted one real grade kit. 1.5. Nice shirt. Makes me want some Death Wish coffee. Is Death Wish coffee a thing? To be honest, as of late, I haven't really been keeping up with a lot of skateboarding stuff. So, forgive me on that one, if Death Wish coffee is a thing. These front skirts are really cool, but I think someone pointed out, I think it's the Amazing Strike Freedom, is it? That has like, the front skirts are like exactly the same, or very, very similar. Someone quick pull up an image of the Amazing Strike Freedom and check on that for me, but I'm pretty sure that's the one it was. So they're both Naoki designs, and he just kind of like ripped off his own design on making the front skirts for this one. Maybe he had it like in mind for that, because they're both the like build fighters, build divers designs. So I don't know, maybe he had it in his mind that like the creator in the show or in the canon like actually copied that, rather than him as the real world designer, if you know what I mean, if that makes sense. How's the stream quality for you guys? I keep getting that it keeps like pausing and buffering here on my end. Are you guys seeing that, or is the stream going fine for you guys? It certainly is a thing. The most black metal coffee. Blacker than the blackest black times infinity. Okay, I'll have to check it out. Seems good. Yeah, if I mean, I like some sweet coffee or something like that on the occasion. I'll maybe drink like sweet coffee like once a week, but daily coffee, it's gotta be black, my boy. Black, black, black. Black and extra shot of caffeine. Extra shot of, what am I talking about? Coffee. Love that backlog. Are all those completed kits? Well, for the most of what you can see there is all completed in the sense that it's built. But personally, I wouldn't call a kit completed until it's like actually painted. So they are all built, but not complete. Yeah, for the most part, I think probably most of what you can see there. Yeah, because this is like the kind of the newer stuff. Older stuff is over on the shelves, which is to that way. All right. So as you can see, we're working on the head here, and the head is all new. So you don't use any of the inside parts or anything of the Jin head or anything. Completely new head here for this. As you would imagine, I don't really know what of any previous kit they maybe even could have used for this. But it's a very minor thing, but the design of the head seems quite nice. I mean, compared to other master grades that I've built recently, the head design seems like very simplified, but it works really well. It's kind of hard to describe, and I mean, it's a really minor thing, but if you're building a lot of kits, like often in like rapid succession, as I am, can kind of notice just kind of like a little bit different feel between things, and just like the construction of this head. Trying to put the tiny little sticker in here for the back camera. Construction of the head is like noticeably different. It sort of goes together like a high-grade head. It's like that simple, but not in a bad way. Like it works really well. Alright, we got stickers for the front camera, back camera, and for the eyes. Pretty standard, but there is a clear part that covers all of that. So like if you wanted to pipe an LED up into the head or something like that, both front and back cameras and the eyes would be able to all light up from the same clear part. So that's pretty cool. Or if you just wanted to paint the clear part in the clear green or whatever. It's meant to be clear. It's meant to be green. And no seam line on the head. For being a modern master grade, you would hope so, but it's not always the case. Sometimes you do still have a seam line on the head. There's a seam there, of course, but it's hidden. Yeah, cool V-fin design for this as well. It's got the extra little yellow fin as well as this kind of fairly big red part for the front of it, which doesn't really want to seem to fit on there too tightly. Hopefully once it's on the head it'll be tighter here. There we go. Yeah, seems tight enough. Yeah, the big red part there on the front is pretty big. There you go. It's pretty awesome looking, for sure. Really like just the design of the head and the V-fin on it. Very unique, very cool. I'm not much a fan of the red baseball cap front thing under the V-fin. What? Or what if a person is just making a diorama of people washing the Gundam? Okay, I think you guys are off talking about something. I missed something in there. Anyway, I'm going to move on to the leg. I'm going to stick him over to the side here. And we're going to get on building the legs. And so, just a little heads up, I'll probably state this again near the end of the video as well for anyone who maybe comes in later on, but for those of you guys who are here now, I'll just let you know that the next live stream build will be the Cubalate Damned. So I'm getting that one ready at the moment, and that'll probably be today. What day is it today? Today is Tuesday, so that'll be maybe Thursday night, I think. The Gundam diaper is serious on this kid? You think so? A Zeon suit? Unfortunately, no. Warrior, lol, Panda Man, how's it going, guys? Oh no, don't drop that. So, I mentioned this in my Discord earlier today, but seeing as how you guys mentioned something about the Death Scythe, Spade is working on his Death Scythe Hell. Speaking of that, suddenly today, while I was looking at pictures of the MG Dynamace kit that's coming out, I was thinking, man, those Dynamace like shield wing things, those would look really cool on the Death Scythe. So like taking the Death Scythe Hell and just swapping out the Death Scythe Hell's wings for like the wing binder shield things of the Dynamace. That actually looked pretty cool, I think. Not something that I think I'm actually going to do myself anytime soon, but I'll just kind of like log that in the back of my mind for possible future project of something to maybe do someday. in the distant future. Anybody know if Scuffle's asking? Anybody know if every joint in the hands is articulate on Q-blade damned? No, the Q-blade damned only has ball joints at the base knuckles. That's it. Otherwise, each finger is just one solid piece. So, yeah, bummer. But I honestly expected that. I wasn't really surprised by that at all. Based on the images that we saw of it, like at first, it kind of looked like that maybe there was individual joints, but I mean, I was just kind of thinking about it realistically, and like, it's a P Bandai Master Grade of an old kit. I don't think that Bandai's gonna really go that far to really over design it more than they have to. So, yeah, it's a bummer, but ultimately, I mean, you still have the look. I mean, you couldn't do any like cool poses with him, like pointing or something with the big finger, but he just has like just the big hands. I mean, they still just look the part. The other shit part about it though is the fact that there's the seam lines on all the fingers. All the fingers are top and bottom half put together, so there's a seam on all of them, and the thumb as well. That said, I haven't put that part together yet, so I don't know if maybe that seam line is actually like a part of the detail. Like they've like hidden the seam line as a detail there on the hand. You know what I mean? That could be the case. The only review that I've seen of it was not like a typical review, but it was Dan Moore's video. I don't know if he's still working at Gundam Planet, but I know he was previously working at Gundam Planet, and he recently started a video. He recently started a YouTube channel. Or actually, I don't know if he's recently started or he just recently made a video, and he maybe hadn't made a video for a while. I don't know. Anyway, he recently made a video about the Q-blade damned, and it was like a sort of unboxing review video, and also like painting and all of that as well. So that's the only real video coverage that I've seen about the Q-blade damned, and I can't remember offhand if that seam line on the fingers was a seam line that you would have to remove, or if it's one that's hidden there. But I remember him talking about it, so that leads me to believe that I think it was something that he said that you did have to do some sanding on that to remove that seam line. Correct me if I'm wrong, if any of you guys have seen that, or if any of you guys have any idea what I'm talking about. I forget the name of his channel. Sorry, I would let you know the name of the channel if I could remember offhand, but it's Danny Boy Gumpla, maybe? Something like that. If you guys know, then drop it there in the chat. But it was a cool video. Hopefully he can do some more like that. I think the style was pretty good, pretty unique. Which guy from Gundam Planet made his own channel? Dan Moore. All right. And also about the feet here, you have a new part for the toe. So like the foot is all original, like all the same as like the Gym Sniper 2, but the toe part is new. So it has like the more kind of like slightly Katoki style toe, where it's like a little bit longer and a little bit upturned at the front. I'd much prefer this new style for the toe part for this, so I'm really glad that that's a new piece for this, rather than the same, like the original toe design, like if they would have just kept that from the Gym Sniper. Just as a side note, Danny Gumpla, there you go. Thank you, Kamal. His IG and YouTube are both Danny Gumpla, yeah, so there you go. Check it out later if you guys are interested to see his video about the Q-blade damned. Later, I mean, pull it up on like a separate tab or something and watch it later. Stay here and hang out for the time being. Alright, so we got our ankle joint here, and we can pop this part in. It's always a bit of a balancing act to get the front and back pistons lined up and in place while you're also popping in the ball joint. But there you go. It's not too complicated. And part for the ankle armor goes around down here. It's amazing how much of this kit is exactly the same as the Gym Dominance, but you wouldn't really notice that at first glance. And if you looked at the kits side by side right next to each other, I think it's pretty obvious. But if you had previously seen the Gym Dominance and then I showed you this kit like the next day or anytime later, you'd be like, oh, that's awesome. And then if I told you, yeah, you notice it's using this part from the Gym Dominance, you'd be like, oh, no way, yeah, that's right. You know what I mean? Zach, have you seen that gray Bao Zeta that's been floating around today? Yeah, I saw that. I saw Tim shared that on his Facebook page, Child of Mecca. That's pretty awesome. Very cool build. I like that a lot. That said, I haven't taken the time to look at it in very close detail, but I did see it, and it looked really cool. Yeah. I think they used part of a Macross kit on it. Yeah, that could be very possible. Again, I didn't look that closely, but from what I remember, what I saw, I could see that. Yeah, that would kind of make sense. The wing binders on the back, they are Macross, but something else. For the transformation looked great. Yeah, the transformation, yeah, looked really cool. Well, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, can you guys put a link in the chat? If you can, someone feel free to put a link in there. If you can find one real quick, just to share that. I think you should be able to, right? Someone did before. Feel free. Alright, so there's our leg frame. We got this little bit for the knee. That one goes on there. And this part goes on the back of the thigh. Right there. And this part here for the knee goes on there. And we got these parts for the side of the leg frame. That goes like that. I like how the calf or like the calf muscle side of the leg frame is what holds on the knee part. Is cool about this design. I like that. 1, 2, 3. These go in here. There you go. Thank you, Kamal, for the chat, for the link there in the chat. Yeah, check that out, guys. It's very cool. Thank you, Kanye. Very cool. All right, so there's that. Then I got these side bits here. Again, from the Gym Dominance. Do you guys want to see? Do you guys want a sneak peek at my paint job for the Ultraman B-Type? After I did my review of the Ultraman B-Type last week, I just was thinking like I had an idea for a color scheme that I was like really super excited about. I had this idea and I was like picturing it in my head and I was thinking, yeah, that would look really, really cool. So it's a pretty simple kit. It didn't really take a whole lot of time to like get prepped for painting. It didn't really have to do a whole bunch of sanding or anything like that. Nothing too complicated. So I thought I'm just gonna do a little bit of seam line removal that needed for it, just a little bit of work just to get ready for painting. It didn't take very long and got it painted up. So at the moment it's all painted, all the base painting is done, and I'm just about to go in and start just doing like some pen lining and what's it called? Filter. Need to put some filtering on it and all that. I mean the ironman.jp, yeah. The Iron Man version of Ultraman, right. So the kit is still separated in parts, but I can give you guys I can give you guys a sneak peek at how that's looking so far. If you hang on just a minute here, I'll go grab it. It's over there behind me. Also decided on a random whim to paint up a Exceed Zaku head as well. So I've got one of those, so I've got the base painting all done on that as well. It's kind of a couple little quick side projects to just kind of keep me occupied. I really enjoy painting, so if I'm just like working on, like I am working on the Tristan as well. Last night I was working on the Tristan, but like I really enjoy the painting process. So when working on something like the Tristan, where it's not really, I'm not at the painting stages yet, I just kind of miss painting. So I need to have like these little side projects and things to be able to work on that I can just kind of do relatively quickly, and that will allow me to have some fun painting as well. So just get this leg here put together and I'll go show you the Ultraman. Indie Clip, if you have time, check your Whisper. I wanted to ask you a question. No rush though. What's Whisper? I didn't even know that was a thing, but I can see it here. What's this? Indie Clip, is this something that you want me to address talking to you in private, or can I just say this now? You sent it to me as like a separate, as a whisper, which I didn't know that was a thing, but apparently that's a thing. I don't know if it was just, if that was an easier way to get my attention, or if that was just because you wanted to be private. If you don't want it to be private, I'll answer your question right away. It's just a direct message. I get the idea now, but I didn't know that was a thing. There's the leg. Very cool. I like the new knee armor for it. It's really nice, with a little bit of blue and yellow on it. And then the side and the back of the leg, I mean, it's all kind of like from the Gym Dominance, basically. You sent it just not to clog the chat. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, so... yeah, Twitch is something that... Twitch streaming is something that I want to get more into. So basically, not any more than what I'm doing now. So it's like a couple nights a week of just building a kit before I review it. Basically, that's kind of what I want to do with it for the time being. And so, yeah. So do I want to make my Twitch streaming better? Yes, of course. I really don't know my way around Twitch all that much at all, so yeah, I need to work on my stream layouts and, what did you say? The brand and all of that. Yeah, so, yeah, just in general, improving my Twitch streaming, yes, is something that I'm interested in. I'll just put a couple of pieces of this together so you guys can get a better idea. Well, you can have the very first sneak peek at this. There you go. of my color scheme for the Ultraman B-type. It's not really a whole lot to it. Let me show you this more up close, that'll be better. And it's very blown out. I apologize. Hang on a second. As I get the focus right as well. There we go. And let me bring the exposure down so you can see that a little bit better. There you go. It's just white. It's all white, and there's a couple little bits of like orange marking on it here and there. Just those two, the two that you can see on the shoulder and on the body, and the rest of it's just all white. But I'm going to dirty it up, putting like a brown like wash over it. So yeah, I think just the suit will look like really cool, looking like just kind of like it was all white, but it's been like dirty and like been used out like in the environment or in the desert or something like that. So sort of like a prototype B-type suit, proto B-type suit. How's that? How's that work? Alright. There we go. That focus is better. It's the whole time that focus has been just a little bit off, hasn't it? Sorry about that. It's not really helping the image quality. Yeah, Stormtrooper. Yeah, it's kind of like a Stormtrooper, but it'd be more like a desert. What are they called? Desert Trooper? Is that what they're called? I'm suddenly forgetting what the desert version of the Stormtroopers are called. Yeah, it's not pure white, I should say. It looks white probably for you guys, but it's a warm white, and so it's very slightly cream, and it's painted over a brown primer, so it's got like a little bit of that darkness and a little bit of that warm color to it. And so I think when I give it like a wash, give it a filter of brown and like brown panel lining and all that, that will like help bring out that color, and it'll look really nice. Sand Trooper. Sand Trooper? Is that right? Yeah, that might be right. Desert sounds better than Desert Trooper. Sand Trooper, I think, is right. Yeah. Thank you. I really liked the Bandai kit of the Sand Trooper. It's not a whole lot of Bandai Star Wars kits that I'm really interested in getting, but that's one of them that I would like to maybe get at some point. It's pretty cool looking. All right. Hey, what's going on, Gert? I'm trying to think. That reminds me of Clone Trooper. Yeah. That reminds me, I got the Shore Trooper coming as well. Really cool. Yeah, the Shore Trooper is another one that does look really cool. A cool thing to come out of that movie. Honestly, I didn't mind. What was it called again? With the, that Star Wars movie. Shit, what was it called? With the Shore Troopers. That one. Suddenly drawing a blank, but you know what I'm talking about. Rogue One, thank you. Damn it. Yeah. I didn't mind Rogue One. I thought it was pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty fun. Pretty cool. Just tried to say both at the same time. Sorry. It was a romp, a riot. It was a goof and a gaff and a laugh. You guys know what I'm talking about? I'm sure you do. That's not the most obscure reference ever. It's the best one of the most recent. Yeah, I think I might be inclined to agree with that. The Force Awakens just was very fine and watchable. But yeah, it did just kind of feel so much rehash. So much of it was rehashed from, of course, A New Hope. Shoot, I don't think I should have done that. Damn it. Yeah, the Vader scene at the end was just boss. What's going on, Armando? I liked Solo as well, actually. The new trilogy is poopy. Yeah, Solo was it was alright. Honestly, Solo is probably my least favorite of the new ones, though. Just very forgettable. I don't know. It had some cool moments in it, though. And I mean, people have their opinions as to whether the guy, I forget what the actor's name is, whether he, like, was really, like, up for the role. But when you're trying to, like, take that on of trying to fill the shoes of Harrison Ford playing Han Solo, like, no one's gonna be able to pull that off. There's no way. So I mean, having any sort of expectation that anyone was even gonna come close to doing justice to that role was just dumb. No one was gonna do Han Solo the way that Han Solo did Han Solo. That said, that was one of the things that I didn't really care too much for in The Force Awakens. Harrison Ford really seemed like he was phoning it in. Did you guys feel that as well? Is this darkness in you too? Have you passed through this night? Did you get any of you guys fans of explosions in the sky? Not like literal explosions in the sky. I'm talking about the band Explosions in the Sky. If you're not, then that question may have sounded a bit strange. I'm not getting these parts lined up, and I'm kind of messing them up a little bit. Come on. There we go. Alright. Like both the band and actual explosions in the sky. To be honest, I haven't kept up like in years with anything of what explosions in the sky might be doing these days, so I couldn't say that I'm a current fan. But especially like when I was in college, beginning of college, maybe end of high school. And that song. Now, what's the name of that song? The song that uses that quote from Thin Red. It's not Thin Red Line. What is that? Is it Thin Red Line? No. What is that? Someone help me out here. If any of you guys know what I'm talking about at all. Is it a Thin Red Line? That movie. Damn. Is it? Who's gonna be first? You guys in the chat or me searching YouTube? It is a kind of obscure thing, so I'm not gonna be too surprised. The Big Empty? No, it's not that. Shit, that's really bothering me. Don't you hate that? Like when you're trying to think of something, you can't think of it, and it's just like it drives you nuts. Like when that happens, I just literally can't focus to do anything until I get it figured out. And why is like my YouTube app not working? That's annoying. Damn it. And the worst part is I can't even remember the name of the album either. It's been a while since I've heard the song. Honestly, I haven't listened to Explosions in the Sky for a while, but it's definitely my favorite song from them. Just at the moment, I just can't think of anything really. Couldn't think of Rogue One either, so if that's any hint. Yeah, it is a Thin Red Line. Alright, I was right. It's the Thin Red Line. The scene about this great evil. His monologue in the movie. Does our rule benefit the earth? That whole thing. I don't want to play it because I don't want to get copyright strike on the video when I upload it to YouTube later. But anyway, yeah, it's used in an Explosion in the Sky song, and it gets you. You really feel that. I had actually not seen the movie before I heard the song, so it was so cool because I loved the song so much, and then it was so cool to actually later see the movie finally, like, because I was so familiar with the monologue already. Incoming dank shirts. That's right, man. I've got next week off. Actually, thank you. Yeah, have you passed through this night? That's the name of the song, right? Yeah, I don't know. I said that quote from the song. I just like forgot that that's actually the name of the song. Yeah, I totally forgot about Ben. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're still together and like they're still doing stuff. But I'm like you, girl. I just haven't really followed them lately. I was into them for a while. I think when probably a lot of people were, and I'm sure a lot of people still are, but maybe different crowd. When our generation, I guess, was into them really. But fantastic song. Yeah. If you really want like one of those like punch in the gut like feels songs, like the song you when you listen to it and like you just don't want to, like you're just like paralyzed for like 20 minutes after that, that's a good one to listen to. The movie is fine. It's not like the best movie I've ever seen. But that monologue in it, and especially the way the monologue in general is good, and used with that song is really, really good. Fenrix, good luck in the freezing rain today, man. Alright, can we put this on here? I forgot to put the ankle armor on, so why don't we go ahead and do that. You're looking for the Star Wars fan films on YouTube. I've on many occasions watched the fan like re-edits of the prequels on YouTube. I think there was a time when like YouTube kept taking them down, but I think they're back up now. I think you're able to watch them now. I haven't checked recently, but I think there was a couple examples of like where people had re-edited the prequels and like taken out all like the cringy stuff, or like there's different versions. There were like versions without Jar Jar, or like just versions without young Anakin. There's like versions taking out like all the just cringy stuff. Don't know if those are currently available online, but it had been in the past. And if you're like me, and you kind of like the prequels in a way, I mean, obviously I don't like them more than the originals, but I'm not one of the people who just like really hates the Star Wars prequels. Honestly, they're fine by me. So to be able to like watch them essentially on YouTube was pretty cool. If I just like wanted something to watch, it's like something I could just throw on. It's like anytime I want to watch a movie, I don't have any particular movie in mind that I want to watch. It's like when in doubt, just put on Star Wars. Just choose one. Choose whichever one I haven't seen recently. So I guess that must mean that it must be pretty good movies, I guess. Alright, so there's our second leg done. Got to tickle his kill switch. What? Yes, the moment where the Gundam can stand on its own, that's exactly right, man. That's why I'll oftentimes build out of order from the manual, just because I want to build like the core and the head and the waist and then the legs and like get him standing as soon as possible. Yeah, he's standing. And the fuel tanks are definitely loose in the backpack, unfortunately, but it's looking pretty boss. Boss Nass, if you will, if we're on the subject of prequels. I think basically just I'm on the subject of prequels. I don't think anyone's following me down the road on that conversation. You guys seem to be talking about other things in the chat. Hello from the UK. One Hung Lo. You're just coming into the chat, but very early on in the episode, in this live stream, I showed this kit which I just got in today. This is actually sponsored by a online store in the UK. So it's called Armor of Gods. Armor of Gods. I should get that right. I said it right in the video. I'm just at the moment. I think Armor of the Gods must be right. And armor spelled like in proper English with the OU. But seems like a cool dude. And seems like a good shop. So check it out if you want a new online shop to check out. Limited supply, really at the moment, doesn't really have a whole lot of selection on the site at the moment, but he does have the Gyaradoga. Alright. Let's build these arms. And the weapons are as simple as on like a few parts. Zach, have you ever tried to make your own polycap using mold rubber? I have not. Scuffles. Misa like a dis. Alright, I want to see all, from now on for the rest of the stream, just all Jar Jar speak in the chat. There'll be no chatting unless you're speaking in Jar Jar language. What's that? Alright. You know what was really interesting? If you watched the live stream building the Shinanju Stein a couple days ago, I mentioned this during the stream. I didn't talk about this during the review because it wasn't really all that important to mention in the review, but I mentioned during the stream that building the arm of the Shinanju Stein was very reminiscent of building like the arm of this kit or like any of the master grade gyms out as of late, because they're all kind of like sharing the same construction. But the arm joint, this part, was like exactly the same on the Shinanju. Thank you guys for the actually obliging the Jar Jar speak. Oh, silly. Like, just thinking of it, can't think of what it is, but there's some Jar Jar quote that my dad always says, and I'm 100% sure that he doesn't know it's a Jar Jar quote. What is it? I can't think of it. I think it's just like, it's one of those quotes that's just like become just like a sort of common part of the lexicon. What is it? Shoot, now I can't think of it. But yeah, there's a particular Jar Jar quote that my dad always says, and it always makes me cringe. But I should tell him just to stop saying that. But I know it's like if I tell him, if I say like, Dad, that's just like a really cringy quote from Jar Jar from Star Wars, he wouldn't even know what I'm talking about, because I think maybe he's seen Episode 1, but he wouldn't know. He wouldn't like really know the connotation. When you said gonna build that mechanic core, thank you for keeping up the Jar Jar speak, by the way. But when am I gonna build the mechanic core? I was just talking to someone else about this earlier today too. That I want to later this year. If I mean, I have a few certain projects in mind that I really want to do this year. It's just a matter of kind of what I end up getting to. But building one of my mechanic core kits, yeah, building one of them is something that I do want to do this year. So it's on my short list of. It's on the short list version of my to-do list. I'm not really sure how to say that, but that would make for some interesting live streams. Yeah, I think like live streams and work in progress videos like on a mechanic core kit would probably be pretty interesting for you guys, I imagine, and it would just make interesting content, I think. So yeah, I hope to be able to. I want to. How does this go? That goes like this. Damn! Now I'm stuck again trying to think of what's the Jar Jar quote. Oh, and here's the thumb piece I was looking for. Alright, we'll just run off any and all Jar Jar quotes that you guys know that you can think of there in the chat. Because this is really going to bother me now if I can't think of what it is. I do like speed builds to cool music. Yeah, I tried that for a little while, right? I tried a couple of videos using my GoPro, doing just kind of speed builds, like recording the building process, but it just wasn't really, it was kind of a pain in the ass to make those videos, and they just didn't really seem all that interesting. I know like some people were probably into them, but like it just didn't really seem worth it to keep doing them. And I wasn't happy with the quality of the GoPro 2. Not the GoPro 2, but the GoPro as well. There was another reason. I just wasn't really happy with the quality of just how the videos looked, and it just didn't really seem worth it to keep doing them. So I know everyone's likes the Xeon and the GPO too. Let's see. I actually, so for the mechanical kit, I am kind of leaning towards I want to build the GPO 2 first. On the other hand, I kind of want to build them in order, which would mean building building the Kshatriya first, which I already started the frame ages ago. But I do want to go back and probably just like start from scratch on that, just totally repaint the parts of the frame that I already painted. So I kind of want to start from the beginning with the Kshatriya. On the other hand, I kind of just want to build the GPO 2. But I also got an offer from a guy who wants to not exactly commission me to do it, but he offered to buy it once it's done, either my Mechanical Cassie or Deep Striker. So basically said like, hey, do you know when you're eventually going to get around to building that kit, because I would be interested in buying your build of it. So what I mean is I know for sure I already have a buyer lined up if I do the Cassie or the Deep Striker first. Which for any of the other, whichever one I end up doing, I don't think it's going to be too hard probably to find a buyer. They're going to be expensive for sure. Like a painted, like fully done up build of any mechanical kit is going to be expensive, but I'm pretty confident that I should be able to find a buyer. But just the fact that I know I have one lined up already is kind of nice, kind of incentive to maybe do the Cassie or the Deep Striker first. So I don't know, we'll see. But whichever one it ends up being, I do plan to build, or to at least start building, one of the mechanical kits later on this year. The Cubelay looks awesome. Yeah, the Kurosa Q. The renaming is kind of silly, to be honest, but yeah, the Cubelay redesign is cool. And it's kind of cool how they went with the 5-star stories motif kind of for it in a way. It's not super 5-star stories. It's kind of like a mechanical version of a 5-star stories design. So it's a cool mix of style for that. I like how he's got a little bit of like the kind of double zeta sort of style, like wing bit going off the top of the shoulder armor. It's pretty cool. Big Chungus. I think a down payment would really kick you into gear. Honestly, no. I wouldn't want to take a down payment on it because of how big of a build it is. because once I have once someone has already put the down payment on it, then I kind of have a little bit more pressure on me to do it, and that's one reason why I stopped doing commissions. Is none of the people that I was doing commissions for ever bothered me about that. Like, hey, where's my kit? When are you gonna finish my kit? No one ever did that to me, but I still felt that, just like in the back of my head. I know, like, I wanted, because like I jump around and work on different projects at different times, and if I don't feel like working on that kit at that time, I don't want to feel guilty about it. You know what I mean? Like, I know this person's already paid for this and is expecting that. So while the person may be understanding and not like bothering me about it, and they won't care if I'm like not putting that as like my #1 priority, but I still feel bad about it. I just don't want to have that feeling. So getting someone to put a down payment on the kit first, like getting a buyer to put a down payment on the kit first, would probably not be comfortable for me. Because the way I see it, and this has happened, is that I had someone maybe interested in like saying that like they want to buy the kit from me or whatever once it's done, and I've said, okay, we'll just pay for it once it's done. If it's a kit that I already have. If it's a kit that I don't have, then I'll require the person to at least send the payment for the cost of the kit first. And I guess this is maybe good advice, or at least advice for any of you guys if you're interested in doing commission work, or if you're doing already or whatever. Because if they back out, then you're stuck with a kit that you paid for. So yeah, so if it's a kit that I don't already have, if I need to buy it to start working on it, I'll require them to send the payment at least for the kit first. So if they decide to back out, then that's not refundable, basically. So like, even if I've already started working on the kit, but they want to back out, that's fine. They don't have to pay the full price of the commission. I'll just finish the kit and then just sell it outright. But they ordered it, so they can pay for the kit itself, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? I think that probably makes sense. But I mean, I've never been like loaded with tons of commissions or anything like that. I've done a handful of them, and I've only had good experiences with it. Really, I haven't like been ripped off by anyone or anything like that. So I've been lucky. But there was just one time where a guy wanted a commission of like a master grade Dom, and I just thank you, One Hung Lo, for subscribing. Thank you very much, man. I appreciate that. There was a guy who wanted me to do like a commission of a master grade Dom for him. So I, being the unsmart guy, just went and like ordered the kit just straight away. Then he ended up backing out, and something came up, or whatever his excuse was. He ended up backing out of it, and then I already paid for the kit, so like I couldn't ask him. I probably could have said like, oh, I already just ordered the kit, so you need to pay me for it, but thought that was my mistake. So I mean, it all worked out. I'll just use the kit for a different build sometime later. And actually, since then, I've bought a couple different resin conversion kits for the Master Grade DOM. So I'll just use one of those on there. I think I have 2 different resin conversion kits. That's another thing that I wanted to get to this year is finishing a couple of resin projects, including like resin figures as well. I've got a mess of them. So that's why that is why I reviewed that Master Grade DOM all of a sudden. That was the reason I got it. I think I mentioned something about that in the review or in the unboxing or something. But yeah, that's a good memory, dude. That's exactly why. You live and learn. So that's why I pass the knowledge on to you, my dudes. Or maybe some of you are already into doing commission work and already knew that. It's certainly possible. And I think like later on, if I'm eventually someday able to like do YouTube and Gunpla as like a full-time thing, quit my day job and just like do this full-time, I would love to be able to do that, but if that day ever comes, then I'll probably start doing commissions again just because I'll need the money. But the problem is now, just because of not having a whole lot of free time, because I'm working my day job, I don't have time to work on commission builds and like stuff just for me, stuff that I want at the same time, really. Kind of do, but like I said, I don't want to juggle between projects when I know someone's waiting for something that they paid for. So yeah, rather than having to choose, I just prefer to just, for now, work on just whatever I want to work on. Later on, if I'm able to do this full time and I have more time to work on stuff, then I'll get back into doing commissions at that time. So there's the Gundam. It's pretty cool looking, very buff looking. Just all the angles and like the details and everything looks really awesome. Damn the moon. Yeah, my day job is I am a teacher. I teach English to elementary school Korean kids. Last time I was back home in January, back home in like my hometown, my parents' house, and like visiting with family and friends. In that time, a couple people asked me, like, because I'm planning on moving back to the U.S. in a couple years down the line. But a couple of people had asked me, like, if I was maybe planning on continuing being a teacher in the U.S. when I come back. I hadn't really thought about it, but it could be cool, maybe. But I don't know. As I've heard, being a teacher in the U.S. is not a lot of fun these days. He still hasn't had his students help build a kit as a team building assignment, but whatevs. Yeah. Gunpla Geo, how's it going, man? You caught the stream twice in a row. Yeah, I know some of my students do build Gunpla. I think I've talked about this in a different stream or some video before. I think it was in a different live stream last week or something. Someone asked about this, if my students do Gunpla. I know some of them do build Gunpla, but it's nothing on like a modelers level. It's just kids building cool robots, which, hey, cool. Good for them, right? They're just kind of like, they don't like know a whole lot about like what's available or like modeling techniques or paint or anything like that. I think they're mostly just kind of like whatever kits they see like at the store that they are interested in, then that's what they have. So is this wrong? What did I do wrong? I eat way more snacks while building, do you? I sometimes snack while I'm building, but honestly, uh, not a lot. Like, for example, the whole time while I've been building this, I keep forgetting that I have my can of tea over there on my other desk. And I kept thinking, I need to grab my tea, I need to grab my tea, but then immediately forgetting about it right after thinking that. So, honestly, usually when I'm building, I'm just kind of like immersed, and I don't really think about uh, eating or drinking anything. Sometimes it depends on like which stage of the process. But hang on, because I think I put these parts on backwards. That should be like that. Facing the front. That's right. I know in China, white guys get paid so much more. Korea, Japan, if you like Caucasian, really isn't that bad of pay, right? Yeah, the pay is not that bad here. Generally, yeah, there we go. That fits much better now. I think the beam sabers don't actually fit anywhere. Oh yeah, they do. They fit up in the backpack. Right. Okay, cool. Generally, teachers here make about, I think probably the average would be for like most teachers in my position make around 2,300,000 Korean won. Hey Siri, what's 200? Damn it.
I don't know how to respond to that.
Yeah, right. What's 2,300,000 South Korean won in US dollars?
$2,050.73.
So a little bit more than $2,000 a month. It's probably the average salary for a teacher in like my position, or essentially in my position. But that's just the salary, and in most cases, your apartment is paid for by your school, and so you don't have to pay for your place where you're living. So around $2,000 a month. It would be a little bit less than that because you do have a little bit that you pay for the national health insurance as well as pension. So let's say $1,900 a month, but you don't have to pay for any apartment. So it's not bad, especially if you're young, unmarried, and just here by yourself. It's very comfortable, which is why I stayed for as long as I did at first. And then I continued to stay because of my wife, which we weren't married at the time. I mean, we were just dating and later got married. Damn the tax man. Taxes are not bad here. Does my wife like the U.S.? Scuffles. When we were there in January, and she's been to the U.S. a couple times now. I think that was our third time there together. Yeah, basically like everywhere we were going, my wife kept saying, "Oh, we need to move to America as soon as possible." She really likes it. Basically, most of the time when she's saying that, it's because like we're at some restaurant or something that, or like we found some snack in the store that she really likes, or just some food that she really likes, or something like that. So she was saying like, "Oh, we need to move to America as soon as possible. It's so good." Or it's like some food that she really likes is like particularly cheap, or something like that in America compared to Korea or something like that. So yeah, my wife is very uh, looking forward to living in America, I think. So I will say it's unfortunate the fuel tanks and the beam sabers are both kind of loose on the backpack. So see if I turn the kit upside down and shake it, the beam saber fell off. Got the kit right side up and shake it. Oh, the fuel tank's not coming out, but move the fuel tank around too much and it will pop out pretty easily. Or then not even too much, just move it around a little bit like that. And it's getting loose and loose, loose. The juice is loose. I saw just yesterday, the day before, I was watching some Saturday Night Live sketches on YouTube. I don't know if this was a new one or an old one. I was watching bits from the new episode, but I think that like a couple of old bits from past episodes just came up because it was just auto playing. But there was a bit where Kenan Thompson was playing O.J. Simpson out to dinner with like a woman who was like new into America. She was was that with Gal Gadot? I forget at the moment. But she was an immigrant to the U.S. and she was from a country where she had never heard of O.J. Simpson, so it was a funny bit. They're at dinner and like everyone in the restaurant, of course, knows he's O.J. Simpson, and like the waiters are coming up and saying stuff, but she doesn't know who he is. She's like, "Are you famous or something?" It's like, "Yeah, I used to play sports." It was good. So that's it for the stream, fellas. What do you think about the Stormbringer? It's pretty cool. Like I mentioned earlier, the next live stream is going to be the Kublai Damned, and then after that, it's either going to be the Gyaradoga or the F91 backpack set kit. So one of the two. Anyway, like I said, it's apparently Master Grade month here on the channel, so got those. But do need to also get the Arjarja. Yeah. Need to get the Arjarja and review that, because need to review that as well. I do have the Argyagya from Build Fighters. I have that kit. I've had that kit for a long time. I've never built it, so I need to actually build and review that. So I was thinking I should build and review that kit first because it came out first, and then before the Arjarja, so that I can like compare them. But I don't really think I have time. Maybe might try to squeeze it in. Kind of busy, so I don't know. Oh, there is Jar Jar. Yeah, what is that Jar Jar quote? Okay. I'm going to... Here. I'm going to look up some Jar Jar quotes. Because I really want to know what that was. Just Google Jar Jar Binks quotes. Should be funny. Still have to finish my first HG and kit in general, yeah. I remember I built one all during a meet to submit to our beginner contest. Okie day. That's what it is. It's okie day. It's not like a full quote. It's just like a single word. Okie Day is definitely a Jar Jar thing. That like that phrase doesn't exist outside of Jar Jar. That's a Jar Jar word, Okie Day. And my dad sometimes says it, and I'm sure he doesn't know that it's like a Jar Jar thing. And so I wonder if maybe I said it when I was young, like after seeing the movie. Maybe it was something that I just said on the occasion after like first seeing the movie when I was young at the time. I was sometimes saying like "Okie Day," whatever like that, and then my dad just like kept it up. uh, but yeah, he still says it sometimes, and it just really makes me cringe. If I should tell him like, "Dad, please stop saying that. Don't ever say that anymore." But bless him. Yeah, Jar Jar. I looked up 11 quotes that broke the movie and didn't really want to blow up the chat with them. That's fine. Yeah. There some of the Jar Jar quotes is like kind of funny. But yes, so much of it's just so cringy. Buckwheat from the Little Rascals? He did he say Okie Day? Or was it Okie Day or it was slightly different, wasn't it? What did Buckwheat say from the Little Rascals? It was, wasn't it? In the Little Rascals movie. Like the live action like the more modern one that came out in the 90s. It seems so weird that those two characters would say the same thing. Not even remotely similar characters in any way. Japanese milk tea. Oh, Tay. Yeah, that's what it was. Oh boy. Alright. Oh man. When was this? Oh. I had another whisper that I hadn't checked in almost a year. I'm just checking my whispers now. My direct messages. Uh, one of my high school friends. Sorry, dude. He's not watching now. But anyway, alright, yeah. Gotta love the classic pre-PC cringeworthy stereotypes, yeah. Alright, guys. Yeah, old Eddie Murphy, old Adam Sandler. Things to miss. Old even though. Will Ferrell even as well. Yeah. Was it just recently, like a week or so ago, I watched Funny People, uh, movie with Adam Sandler and like Seth Rogen and those guys. And even in that one, it was like that was right around the end of the time when Adam Sandler was on a streak of trying out serious movies, and like some of them were good. Like Punch Drunk Love is good. Uh, Punch Drunk Love was good, and what else was he in? Reign Over Me was alright. That one was not bad. That he was in with Don Cheadle. That was pretty cool. Not bad. There was something else too. What else was Adam Sandler in that was not bad? Like a more serious movie. But yeah, Funny People is like good. I like that movie except for how cringy Adam Sandler is. Just because I feel like that it was just too spot on. He was just playing himself like this like sad washed up actor, and like yeah, it's a little bit too close to reality for that one. So it's kind of like Bill Murray in Lost in Translation. Like I think a lot of people criticized him for that. Not exactly criticism, but he didn't win the Oscar for that. He was nominated, and he didn't win. And I think a lot of the reasoning that I've heard about that is because a lot of people say, Spanglish, yeah, that was okay too. T. Leon is kind of hard to watch. She's kind of annoying, but um, Yeah, Bill Murray didn't win the Oscar for Lost in Translation, and I've seen like a lot of the criticism was basically just that he was basically just playing himself in the movie, which is fine. But I love Lost in Translation, and I think Bill Murray playing himself is fantastic to watch because he's so awesome. But seeing Adam Sandler playing himself while he's on uh, like a train wreck stage of his career, it's like yeah, ew. But the movie in general is not bad. Uh, like Seth Rogen and like everyone else in the movie is pretty funny. But, yeah. Uh, so yeah, that's it for movie talk. It's a new thing I'm working on here on my channel. Build and movie talk. So I'm gonna go take a shower and go to sleep because I do have to go to work tomorrow. So it's almost 3 a.m. Movies with Zach. That's right. So that's a wrap for the stream tonight, guys. Thanks for hanging out. See you later. Tomorrow I'm going to be editing and uploading Gunpla News, so watch that tomorrow. Thanks to those of you guys. A couple people subscribed to the other stream too. One Hung Lo and someone else who was at the start. But thank you guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.